Section 1. The Echo of the Caveman. Are we fading? Imagine a man from 40,000 years ago. His name is Urk. He wakes to first light at a cave entrance. His breakfast is not a sugary cereal or a quick piece of toast. It might be leftovers from yesterday's hunt or nothing at all. His day isn't sitting at a screen. He walks for miles, tracks animals, carries heavy stones, defends his family from predators. His body is a survival machine. Every muscle is earned. Every calorie is precious. He's strong, lean, relentlessly active. His life depends on it. Now picture a modern man, Dave. He wakes to his phone. He scrolls news and emails before standing. Breakfast is quick, processed, sugary. He drives to work. He sits in an office chair for hours. He drives home. Dinner could be pizza or a microwave meal. His daily activity might be a short walk from car to door. Comfortable, safe, predictable. But is comfort costing strength and vitality? Urk versus Dave. A stark contrast. Are modern men weaker than ancient ancestors? We face far fewer physical challenges. Machines do our heavy lifting. Grocery stores supply endless food. We don't chase dinner or fight saber-toothed cats. Brains are more stimulated, bodies in semi-retirement. We'll explore the biology behind this decline. We'll journey back in time to the pressures that forged us, then return to the present to see how modern life reshapes us. We'll look at key factors: diet, daily activity, stress, sleep. This isn't about which life is better. It's about understanding trade-offs. We'll explore the science of strength, especially testosterone, and uncover practical steps to reclaim some ancient power. Section 2. The Hormone of Kings. What is testosterone? To understand the difference between the caveman and the modern man, we must first talk about testosterone. You have probably heard the word before, often linked to muscles, aggression, manliness. But what is it really? In simple terms, testosterone is a key hormone. Think of it as a chemical messenger that travels through the body, giving instructions to different cells. Both men and women produce it, but men produce much larger amounts. It plays a central role in developing male characteristics during puberty, like deeper voice, facial hair, muscle growth. Testosterone's job does not stop after our teen years. Throughout life, it remains a vital manager for many bodily functions. It helps maintain muscle mass, bone density. That's why it matters for physical strength. It also influences energy levels, mood, focus. It helps regulate sex drive, libido, and aids in producing red blood cells. When levels are healthy, a man typically feels energetic, strong, motivated. It's like engine oil, keeping the male body running smoothly. So what does this have to do with Urk and Dave? Everything. Ancestors' lifestyles supported robust testosterone. Constant physical activity, hunting, fighting, sent signals to build and maintain muscle. Their diet, rich in natural proteins, fats, provided the building blocks for hormone production. Short, intense bursts of danger triggered hormonal responses that kept them sharp. Their environment demanded a body ready for anything. Modern life often works against healthy testosterone. Long periods of inactivity, sitting at a desk, tell the body not to maintain muscle. Diets high in processed foods, sugar, disrupt hormonal balance. Chronic stress from work, finances, social pressures, creates a different chemical environment than the acute stress of a hunt. This essay will unpack these crucial differences, show how day-to-day choices shape our biology, and what we can learn from ancestors' ways. Section 1. The Hunter's Burden. A day of constant motion. For our ancient ancestor, Urk, life was a story written by movement. His day was not segmented into work, exercise, and leisure. It was one continuous flow of physical exertion. The primary duty of hunting was not a sport, but a grueling necessity that demanded peak physical performance. Imagine spending hours, sometimes days, tracking a herd of mammoths or deer across vast, untamed landscapes. This was not a gentle stroll through a park. It involved running over uneven terrain, climbing steep hills, and navigating dense forests. The sheer endurance required to pursue prey until it was exhausted was immense. This type of prolonged, low to moderate intensity activity built a powerful cardiovascular system, ensuring his body could efficiently deliver oxygen and nutrients to his hard-working muscles. Once the hunt was successful, the real heavy lifting began. An adult bison or elk could weigh over 1,000 pounds. Transporting such a massive prize back to the camp was a monumental task that required the coordinated effort of the entire hunting party. They would carry enormous chunks of meat, heavy hides, and dense bones over miles of difficult ground. This was the original form of strength training. Lifting and carrying these awkward, heavy loads engaged every muscle group in the body, from the legs and back to the shoulders and arms. This functional strength was not for show. It was essential for survival, directly contributing to the group's ability to feed itself and prosper. Beyond the epic hunts, daily life was filled with constant physical tasks. Building and maintaining shelters required felling trees, moving large rocks, and weaving branches. Gathering edible plants, nuts, and roots often meant digging in hard soil or climbing tall trees, activities that challenged grip strength and agility. Even fetching water involved carrying heavy containers, often made from animal skins, over long distances. There were no shortcuts, no machines to ease the load. Every single calorie had to be earned through physical labor, creating a body that was perpetually active, strong, and resilient. This constant demand for physical output was a powerful signal to the body to maintain robust muscle mass. This lifestyle of unceasing movement is a world away from our modern existence. The average hunter-gatherer likely walked between 6 to 10 miles every single day, not as a form of deliberate exercise, but as a simple consequence of living. Their bodies were not just adapted to this level of activity, they expected it. This constant physical stress was a primary driver for maintaining a strong hormonal profile. The body, sensing the need for strength and endurance, would have naturally optimized the production of hormones like testosterone to build and repair muscle tissue, ensuring that Urk was always ready for the next day's challenge, whatever it might be. Section 2. The Feast and the Famine, an Ancestral Diet. The diet of our prehistoric ancestors was fundamentally different from today's food. It was defined by a powerful cycle of feast and famine. After a successful hunt, the clan gorged on fresh meat. They ate muscle meat, organs, marrow, fat. These foods supplied building blocks for hormone production, including testosterone. Dietary cholesterol is a precursor for testosterone. Animal products provided it in abundance. But hunts often failed, and long periods of scarcity followed. They survived on gathered foods, roots, berries, nuts, insects. This created intermittent fasting. They didn't eat 3 square meals a day or snacks. Caloric intake was unpredictable and sporadic. That cycling improved metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and cellular repair. Foods were whole and unprocessed, no refineries for grains, no chemical additives, no added sugars. Carbs came from fibrous roots and seasonal fruits, digested slowly, avoiding sharp blood sugar spikes. Stable blood sugar supports hormonal health. Modern high blood sugar and insulin resistance suppress testosterone. The ancestral diet avoided refined sugars and processed carbs. Their seasonal varied diet supplied micronutrients, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D. Modern diets rely on a few staples: wheat, corn, soy. Hunter-gatherer diets provided the raw materials for peak hormonal function. Stress is not a modern invention, but the nature of stress has changed dramatically. For Urk the caveman, stress was typically acute, intense, short-lived. It was the heart-pounding terror of a sudden encounter with a cave bear or the adrenaline surge during the final dangerous moments of a hunt. This is the classic fight-or-flight response. In these moments, the body is flooded with hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This response was a brilliant survival mechanism. It sharpened his senses, delivered a burst of energy to his muscles, and temporarily shut down non-essential functions like digestion. It prepared his body for immediate, powerful physical action. Crucially, this type of stress was followed by a period of resolution and recovery. After escaping the predator or successfully killing the prey, the threat was over. The stress response would subside, and his hormone levels would return to baseline. The physical exertion involved in fighting or fleeing also helped to metabolize the stress hormones, effectively burning them off. This cycle of intense stress, followed by complete relaxation and physical release, is how our bodies are designed to handle pressure. These short bursts of stress may have even had a positive effect, conditioning the body to respond efficiently to danger, possibly triggering hormonal cascades that supported strength and alertness. This ancient stress pattern stands in stark contrast to the chronic low-grade stress that defines modern life for Dave. His stressors are not saber-toothed cats, but looming work deadlines, traffic jams, financial worries, and constant social media notifications. These threats are not life or death, but they are persistent and unrelenting. His body does not know the difference between a predator and an angry email from his boss. It still releases the stress hormone cortisol. But because there is no physical release, no fighting or fleeing, this cortisol remains elevated in his bloodstream for long periods. This state of chronic stress is devastating for male hormonal health. Cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. They are like two ends of a seesaw. When cortisol is consistently high, it signals the body to suppress the production of testosterone. From a biological perspective, this makes sense. During a period of chronic famine or danger, the body prioritizes immediate survival over long-term functions, like reproduction or muscle building. The problem is that modern life puts us in a state of perceived chronic danger without end. This constant trickle of cortisol actively works to lower testosterone levels, leaving modern men feeling drained, anxious, and physically weaker. Before the invention of artificial light, human life was governed by the natural rhythm of the sun. Urk's day began with the first light of dawn and ended shortly after the sun dipped below the horizon. This constant exposure to natural sunlight during the day was vital for his health. Sunlight hitting the skin is the primary way our bodies produce vitamin D. Vitamin D functions more like a hormone than a vitamin. Modern research links healthy vitamin D to robust testosterone. By spending his days outdoors, hunting, gathering, Urk ensured an ample supply for hormonal balance. As darkness fell, his world became quiet and dim, illuminated only by the flickering light of a fire. This absence of bright, artificial light after sunset was crucial for the sleep-wake cycle. The brain's pineal gland responds to darkness by producing melatonin. Melatonin signals the body it's time to sleep. That ensured Urk fell into deep, restorative sleep nightly. Most daily testosterone production occurs during these deep sleep phases. A full night of high-quality sleep is a biological necessity for healthy testosterone. Urk's lifestyle was optimized for this. In contrast, modern life has disrupted these natural rhythms. Dave spends most of his day indoors, away from natural sunlight. This leads to widespread vitamin D deficiency. In the evening, he surrounds himself with bright artificial light from lamps, televisions, phone screens. Evening blue light tricks the brain into thinking it's daytime and suppresses melatonin. That makes it harder to fall asleep and lowers sleep quality. Losing 1 or 2 hours of sleep nightly can dramatically reduce testosterone, sometimes equivalent to aging 10 to 15 years. Ancestors were regularly exposed to cold. They lacked central heating and insulated jackets. They endured chilly nights, swam in cold rivers, and lived through harsh winters. This cold exposure is a form of positive stress, hormesis, that may have benefited hormonal health. Cold exposure can activate brown adipose tissue, boost metabolism, improve insulin sensitivity. While the direct link to testosterone is still under research, metabolic health and resilience to stress help maintain a strong hormonal foundation, a benefit largely lost in our temperature-controlled modern world. The social environment of our ancestors was another powerful force shaping their biology. Life in a small, tight-knit clan was a delicate balance of cooperation, competition. Cooperation was essential for survival. Group hunts, defense against predators, sharing resources. These cooperative efforts, particularly the shared success of a hunt, fostered a sense of belonging and purpose, reduced chronic stress, promoted social bonds. This supportive social structure buffered harsh realities and supported overall well-being, which is a key pillar of hormonal health. At the same time, there was an undercurrent of competition, particularly among the men. Status was not inherited. It was earned, based on skill as a hunter, based on strength, based on ability to provide for and protect the clan. This created a social hierarchy of implicit competition, a powerful driver of behavior. Success in competition, bringing down a large animal, boosted social standing and, research suggests, spiked testosterone. The winner effect. Success led to higher testosterone, which increased confidence and the likelihood of future success. This dynamic gave clear, tangible goals. A man knew how to earn respect and value. His purpose, contribute to the clan's survival. That clarity is a psychological anchor often missing today. Praise and respect after a successful hunt were direct, potent rewards. Social validation combined with physical accomplishment provided profound fulfillment, reinforced behaviors that kept him strong and supported his hormones. In comparison, the modern world presents a far more ambiguous social landscape. Status tied to wealth, job titles, online popularity. Disconnected from physical prowess. Goals are less clear. Competition is indirect and perpetual. There is no definitive successful hunt that provides a clear resolution and hormonal reward. Instead, modern men face constant, low-level social pressure without the same opportunities for physical demonstration of competence and biological feedback. This shift removed an ancestral mechanism that helped drive and reward behaviors, supporting robust male vitality. In the modern world, for a man like Dave, motion has become optional rather than essential, His day is defined not by movement but by stillness. He wakes up and sits down for breakfast. He sits in his car or on a train during his commute to work. He then spends the next 8 to 10 hours sitting in an office chair, his body largely motionless except for the tapping of his fingers on a keyboard. This prolonged sitting, day after day, sends a powerful signal to his body. The message is clear. There is no need for strong muscles or a robust physical frame. In the absence of physical demand, the body begins to downsize systems built for movement, including muscle mass. This lifestyle is a radical departure from the one our bodies evolved for. We are built to be active, to walk, run, lift, and carry. When we deny this need, the consequences are significant. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even at rest. As muscle mass declines, metabolism slows. That makes it easier to gain fat, even without eating more. The shift from muscle to fat isn't just cosmetic. Visceral fat around the organs is hormonally active and can produce estrogen, which disrupts hormonal balance and suppresses testosterone. Even our leisure time is often spent sitting. After a long day, the usual move is to collapse onto the sofa, watch TV, or scroll on a smartphone. We have engineered physical effort out of almost every aspect of life. We use elevators instead of stairs, drive to the corner store instead of walking, and use remote controls to avoid getting up. Each small choice to avoid movement builds a larger pattern of inactivity. Our environment, chairs, couches, convenient transport, nudges us toward a sedentary existence. This is the comfort trap. Convenience that slowly weakens us. Functional strength training is rare. Unlike Irk, who lifted and carried heavy, awkward objects daily, Dave rarely lifts more than a grocery bag. His muscles are never challenged. No intense stress means no signal to produce or maintain hormonal infrastructure like high testosterone needed for significant strength. The sedentary siege is quiet and gradual, but its effect on strength, vitality, and hormonal health is profound and undeniable. The modern food environment is a world of endless abundance, a stark contrast to the feast and famine cycles of the past. For Dave, food is available 24/7, just a short drive or a few screen taps away. He never experiences true hunger, let alone the prolonged periods of fasting that were a regular part of ancestral life. Instead, he consumes 3 meals a day, often supplemented with snacks in between. This constant supply of calories keeps his blood sugar and insulin levels consistently elevated. Chronic high insulin is a major problem for hormonal health. It can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where the body's cells stop responding to insulin signals, and it is directly linked to lower testosterone levels. A huge portion of the modern diet consists of hyperpalatable, processed foods. These foods are scientifically engineered to be irresistible, packed with refined sugar, unhealthy fats, and salt, but they are often stripped of essential nutrients. Think of sugary cereals, sodas, packaged snacks, and fast food. These items provide a huge number of empty calories without the vitamins and minerals necessary for a healthy body. Key micronutrients for testosterone production, such as zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D, are often deficient in a diet based on processed foods. Dave might be eating more calories than ever before, but his body can still be starving for the actual raw materials it needs to function correctly. The types of fats we consume have also changed dramatically. The ancestral diet was rich in natural animal fats and omega-3 fatty acids from wild game and fish. The modern diet, however, is often dominated by refined vegetable oils like soy, corn, and canola oil, and artificial trans fats. These fats can promote inflammation throughout the body. Chronic inflammation is another form of stress that puts a major strain on the body's resources. It is like a low-level fire that is always burning in the background. This inflammatory state can disrupt the production of key hormones, including testosterone, as the body diverts resources to manage the constant inflammation instead of focusing on growth and repair. Finally, the sheer convenience of modern food means we often eat without thinking. We eat while distracted by television, while working at our desks, or while driving. This mindless eating leads to overconsumption and a disconnect from our body's natural hunger and fullness signals. Unlike our ancestor Urk, who ate with purpose after a long day of physical effort, we often eat out of boredom, stress, or habit. This combination of constant calorie availability, nutrient-poor processed foods, inflammatory fats, and mindless overconsumption creates a perfect storm for metabolic disaster. It leads to weight gain, inflammation, and insulin resistance, all of which are powerful suppressors of a man's testosterone levels. It is a natural and unavoidable fact that a man's testosterone levels gradually decline with age. After peaking in the late teens and 20s, total testosterone levels typically decrease by about 1% per year, starting around age 30 or 40. This is a slow, steady, and normal part of the aging process. For our ancestor Urk, assuming he survived into his 40s or 50s, he would have experienced this gentle decline. However, his highly active lifestyle and nutrient-dense diet would have likely kept his baseline levels much higher for longer, meaning that even with age-related decline, his levels might have remained quite robust compared to a modern man of the same age. What we are seeing today, however, is something entirely different and more alarming. Researchers are observing that testosterone levels in men are dropping not just within individuals as they age, but across entire generations. A 60-year-old man today, on average, has significantly lower testosterone than a 60-year-old man did just a few decades ago. This population-level decline cannot be explained by aging alone. It points directly to the environmental and lifestyle factors that have changed so dramatically in recent generations. This is the modern collapse, a sharp, premature decline in testosterone driven by the way we live, not just by the number of birthdays we have had. This modern collapse is fueled by the factors we have already discussed. A sedentary lifestyle leads to more body fat, which produces the enzyme aromatase. Aromatase converts testosterone into estrogen, directly lowering available testosterone. A diet high in processed sugars and unhealthy fats leads to insulin resistance and chronic inflammation, both of which are powerful suppressors of the testosterone production line. Chronic psychological stress keeps the hormone cortisol constantly elevated, which acts like a brake on the entire system, telling the brain and testes to halt production. These factors are not part of the natural aging process. They are consequences of our modern environment. The distinction between natural decline and modern collapse is crucial. While we cannot stop the clock on aging, we have a significant amount of control over the lifestyle factors that accelerate this decline. A 45-year-old man like Dave might have testosterone levels typical of a man decades older, not because of his chronological age, but because his body's hormonal systems are worn down by years of poor sleep, chronic stress, and a nutrient-poor diet. The good news is that this means the situation is often reversible. By addressing these lifestyle issues, it is possible to fight back against the modern collapse and restore testosterone levels to a range that is healthy and appropriate for one's age. Section 2. Reclaiming your power. Small steps for modern men. The story of Irk and Dave is not a tragedy. It is a roadmap. It shows us that while we cannot return to the past, we can integrate its powerful lessons into our modern lives to reclaim our vitality. The first and most crucial step is to reintroduce movement. You do not need to hunt a mammoth, but you must challenge your muscles. Commit to strength training 2 to 3 times per week. Lift heavy things, focusing on compound movements, squats, deadlifts, pull-ups. This is the single most powerful signal you can send to your body that strength is still a necessity. Complement this by simply moving more throughout your day. Take the stairs, walk during your lunch break, stand up from your desk regularly. Next, you must overhaul your fuel supply. Ditch the hyper-processed foods, sugary drinks, inflammatory vegetable oils. Build your diet around whole, single-ingredient foods, just as our ancestors did. Prioritize high-quality protein from meat, fish, eggs. Do not fear healthy fats from avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds. Eat a wide variety of colorful vegetables to get the vitamins and minerals your body craves. By fueling your body with nutrient-dense foods, you provide the testosterone factory with the premium raw materials it needs to run at full capacity, and you stabilize the blood sugar that modern diets so often disrupt. Third, you must master the art of recovery. This begins with protecting your sleep as if it were a precious resource, because it is. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night in a cool, dark, and quiet room. The most impactful change you can make is to create an electronic sundown, turning off all screens at least an hour before bed. This will allow your brain to produce the melatonin needed for deep, restorative sleep. At the same time, you must actively manage your chronic stress. Incorporate a daily practice that calms your nervous system. A 10-minute walk in nature, meditation, deep breathing exercises, or listening to music without distraction. Finally, take conscious steps to reduce your exposure to environmental chemicals. Swap plastic food containers for glass ones, filter your drinking water, and choose natural personal care and cleaning products when possible. These small changes can reduce the cumulative chemical burden on your body over time. Remember, this is not a quest for perfection, but a journey of incremental improvement. Start with one small change, like a 15-minute walk each day or cutting out soda. Small, consistent actions build powerful momentum. By consciously applying the lessons from our ancestral past, we can fight back against the hormonal decline of the modern world and build a stronger, healthier, and more vital version of ourselves.